Open that up. Can you see the presentation? Let's get the beginning. Can I see that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'll just quickly review, walk through what I sent out as an attachment, and then I got another page with kind of like more rules and regulations if you want. It's not very long, and then we'll get to some Q&A. Okay, so we know we're in a kind of a crazy year. Fewer opportunities to promote events and showcase, kind of what Rotary does. And the events that we do have are kind of all new. And so it's always nice to have a way, maybe a budget, to promote new events through Facebook or Instagram or other Facebook properties with a bit of a budget. And that's what this program provides. Our region has a total budget of about $5,000 a year for PR, and so we're redirecting $4,000 of that $5,000 towards this program to give back to the clubs who want to use it to build awareness. Tight budgets. Again, fewer opportunities to actually talk about what we're doing as Rotarians because we're not writing as many checks and helping as many organizations in our community. And when you stop to do that, you no longer have kind of material to work with to promote your club on Facebook or other ways through local media channels. So that's an issue. And then finally, we've got Zoom meetings, which is certainly better than nothing. But they're not like the real thing. So I know a lot of people, including myself, we like to go to the meeting every day and every week and talk with people sitting beside us, seek down people we don't know, have chit chats with them to get to know them a little bit better. That's pretty tough to do within a Zoom call. And as a result, it's, members just aren't engaged. We may be the exceptions because, we're on committees and we have responsibilities, but the average member may be finding it less and less interesting. So hopefully this program will reignite people's imagination and memory as to, why they joined Rotary in the first place. Okay, so PR Rockstar, this was not my idea. This actually borrowed this idea from a club in Texas. It's not exactly the same program, but the essence is. And so I decided to borrow the name as well. So the objectives, we want to encourage clubs to build the number of followers they have on Facebook because the more followers we have, the easier it is to get the word out about what our club is doing. We want members to think a little bit about why they enjoy or love being a Rotarian and build that through Facebook. And if possible, we want to create motivating content for our district news bulletin and a district Facebook page. So very much, hopefully clubs kind of borrow some content that we publish on the district page. And I'd like to create kind of a two-way street where we're doing more sharing of what you guys do at the club level up to the district page. District, I think we've got roughly 1,500 followers, so it's a decent follower base, and so we should be leveraging that as much as we can. Okay, so with that in mind, here's the program. Basically 3 criteria in order to access a budget of $400. Number 1, we want to, through your own means, increase the number of followers you have on your Facebook page by 10% or 50 people, whichever is larger. So if you're a small club and only have, let's say, 200 followers on Facebook, and there are some clubs in that group, the target for you would be 50 people. So it's a big jump, but there's lots of upside to grow your clubs. If your club, like I think Guelph's got 1,000 followers, they don't have to do 10%. All they need is 50 people because they're already starting to hit the ceiling in terms of followers, and incrementally it's just a little bit much tougher. Which number is that? Oakville Trafalgar? I think you guys were in 250 range or so. So it would be 50 people for you. And that's, so we're going to try.
We got more than that.
Oh, Lakeshore? No, Lakeshore, I think you guys are about 600 or so. Yeah, 650 or so. Yeah, maybe even more than that. It's been a while since I looked.
And that's sorry, that was only the actual club page, not the RibFest
Correct.
page.
That's right. That's just your club page. Yeah, keep rocking and rolling with your RibFest page. I know you got like over 7,000 followers, and that's fantastic. Yeah. I'm actually encouraging other clubs to start using that model because there are some people who really aren't interested in Rotary, but they're interested in the RibFest or the bottle drive or the auction or whatever the signature event may be. So So it's not a bad strategy to follow. But we're going to take the pulse on September 1. We're going to take a look at how many followers each and every club has on that date, and that's going to be the starting point. And growth is going to be based off of that starting point on that date. Okay. Number 2, we're looking for clubs to record and post 10 videos on Facebook between the beginning of September and the end of January. I've changed this a bit since my initial email. The video can only be 20 seconds long. It can be shortened to the point, and it's really just going out to hopefully a diverse range of your members with a heartfelt message that communicates what it is that they love about being a Rotarian. And the idea is to create a small campaign for your club page, and then we roll that up to more of a district campaign. I'll share the best ones at the district, and hopefully that'll help get the word out and let people that are new to Rotary what's so great about it, and as importantly, remind Rotarians, current club members, what it is that we're all about, because we're kind of not doing the things we love to do, and so it's kind of a nice way to just be reminded about it. In order for us to track that, each of those posts on Facebook has to be tagged with a hashtag #780YRotary. And so when it's all said and done, I can go to Facebook, I can just pop in that hashtag, and all these things will feed onto my Facebook page, and I can just do a quick count as to which club is doing what in order to track your success. In order to make sure that this is kind of a campaign thing, I'd like clubs, or I'm mandating that clubs don't do more than 3 videos per week. Now you can do all your videos in one day if you want to, but I want to kind of, over time expose these videos. So if you do 10, it'll take you the better part of a month to get them all posted to Facebook and create that campaign that we're looking for. Okay. Again, and another reason I'm doing this is I don't want kind of clubs to kind of do 10 in a morning, jam them onto Facebook with no exposure, and then say, I'm done, where's my prize? That's not really what I want. I really want it to be more than that, a kind of a true campaign as much as possible. But again, this whole thing is voluntary. You can decide to do your videos one week at a time and string it on out if that works for your club. That said, it is kind of a first come first serve to get the prizing. The last criteria is I'm looking for clubs. I'm looking for more stories from the clubs within our district to put in our bulletin to talk about what we're doing. Specifically new and innovative ideas that benefit the community in the days of COVID. So I'm looking for each club to submit one story between September 1st and January the 1st. We were just talking.
Does ours count, Dan?
You missed. Unless I might have the bottle drive story. If that's your story, we got a story on the bottle drive this September issue. We also have a story about Cambridge Prescott Hessler HP about your care center there. So you check those boxes off because you guys make that cut. Not fair. Sorry, you guys missed the cut, Karen. But we talked about your great fundraiser last month, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which by the way was the most read story in the bulletin. So awesome. Good for you. It was well done. That's one of the things we're trying to track with the bulletin. As you may notice, the format of the bulletin has changed. It's all kind of clickable links now. And so what we do is we go in at the end of every month and say, okay, how many of these stories got read? And what we're trying to do is learn where the interests of our district is and do more of those type of stories. Okay, so those are the criteria. What's the prize? 10 prizes, $400 each. It's the first 10 clubs that meet the criteria are going to be awarded those prizes. So it's up to you to do the work. Once you feel you've established those criteria, send me an email. As soon as they come in, I'm going to validate that, yep, you've got the 10 up on your website, you've given me a story, and you've hit the number of followers to increase by, and lickety spit, you're done. As soon as 10 clubs have done that successfully, the contest is over, and all the money's gone. Yes, Liz?
Dan, is the our RibFest page and our Facebook page numbers combined?
No, it's just your club's page, your club's Facebook page. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So the money's going to be distributed to individual clubs as Facebook advertising credits that can be used on Facebook or on Instagram, whatever your choice. If you don't know how to use that type of credit, give me a call. Happy to walk you through what it is to create a small campaign on Facebook and, target either geographically or behaviorally or demographically. Facebook allows you all kinds of ways to target people so that you can spend your money with them. Just a quick FYI, if you create a campaign that's all based on exposure, let's say you're in Burlington and you want to reach people who are, I'll just say, who are into fine dining and who are over the age of 50 for whatever reason. It's probably going to cost you about a cent per person to reach those people. So, it's just exposure to the message. It doesn't mean that they're going to really embrace your message or click through onto your message, but getting the messages out is pretty cost effective through a Facebook platform. You can create campaigns that, you'll pay per click. Those are a lot more expensive, but not crazy expensive, but more expensive. And happy to help you with that if you need help when you get to that point. So you notify me when you've got the criteria. I'll verify your results. So I won't be looking at any results until I get an email from your club that says, check, we've done it. And then we go from there. A couple of small rules and conditions. A limit of 1 award per club. So this is, funds are scarce, so I've got to kind of restrict them in some way. So let's say a club is also sponsoring a Rotary club. Unfortunately, I can only award 1 prize to that club. So it can be used by the Rotary Club, or maybe, you know what, we're not going to do this. But those Rotary actors, I know they're going to do this and they need the $400 for sure. Great. Allow them to run like crazy with this idea, boost their numbers, and then I'll gauge their results as opposed to that club's results. Okay. So it's unfortunately, a bit of a penalty for clubs who have done a great job of promoting Rotary, but at the same time, I'm trying to spread the wealth across the district as much as possible. You can use these credits to support any kind of paid communications. I'm not going to be the communications police. Whatever you see fit that you want to boost or advertise on your Facebook or Instagram page, it's all yours. The videos, a couple of small things here. In order to kind of create a campaign feel, I do ask that you shoot these videos in 9:16. So that would be your cell phone landscape orientation. We're looking for something that's at least 20 seconds long. You can be creative, go for it.
I thought, sorry, you said earlier 20 seconds was the max.
No, sorry, min. Did I say max? I might have made
Well,
that
you
mistake. Okay.
15 to 20 is way better than 30.
Yeah, you can, well,
That's been our experience.
Yeah.
A minute is way too long.
Oh, I agree. A minute's too long. And I agree. A minute can be way too long. And I'm actually looking to do 2 things that is kind of new to you. I'm actually asking you to introduce the video with a small graphic that can take, 3 or 4 seconds, or a small video that can take 3 or 4 seconds. I'll show that to you in just a minute or two. It's got to be an active member who's in the video. Again, encourage a range of diversity so that the public can see that Rotary is men, women, young, old, different ethnicities, that we're a diverse group. I mean, I'd hate to see nothing but 10 white-haired old guys in the video. That's not the message I think we want to have out there. It's got to address 1 question as creatively as possible. It's got to be published on Facebook. We talked about that, 3 per week. It's got to start with an official infographic. I'll show that in a second. It's got to have the hashtags. Okay. Other than that, no rules about where the videos are shot or kind of the approach that you've taken. So this is just a small graphic that I'd like to see as kind of a unifying element to these. This is just a MP3 file that, a JPEG file that I'll send to you. And there's also a small video. So I'm just going to show you in a second what's going on here. Let me just remove this out of the way. Hopefully this works. I'm going to go to my Facebook page. And so please don't critique the what do we got here? Oops, I gotta go home. There we are. So if I'm not, You should be able to see the audio, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I did one this morning. Small lead in. Can you guys hear that?
No.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about the technicalities about that, but essentially you're starting with a small graphic. I've got to reformat this graphic for 618. It was formatted 5.4, but or 4.5. I'll resend it out to you. And if you want to finish it off with that same graphic to give it kind of a campaign feel, you know, I certainly would not hesitate doing that. But if you can open it with this graphic, stop there. That'd be great.
Can you send out your example when you send out the intro?
Yeah, for sure. So this afternoon I'll send you the JPEG file, the quick MP4 file that you can use to start your videos, and as well as a link to this thing that I just created. Okay, and that's essentially it. I've tried to make it drop dead simple. Not too many rules and regs, but if you've got questions, now's the time.
So Dan, for the why I love being a Rotarian, we did do a couple already, but they were so short that we did a montage. Would that be allowable?
Yeah, but it would only be counted as one.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
And I don't get credit for anything we've already done.
Okay.
No, I'm asking.
Not if it's not already up there, but you can always repost. I mean, I won't repost with the correct hashtag, and I could probably look the other way.
And then one other question about the incentives.
Yeah.
I can't use that for what we've already tried to promote. Like, we've done one Rib Fest that we spent money on, and we're doing another Rib Fest that we'll have to spend money on.
Well, that's a good question. You know what? I haven't thought about that, but I'm going to answer yes, because in a sense, your events happen in the summer.
Yes.
If you've spent good hard club money on Facebook advertising, I'd be willing to, given that it's Facebook advertising, I'd be willing to say, okay, I'll reimburse you the money that, you show me what you spent. If it's $400, we'll send you a check for $400. But the criteria is, it was just to be fair to all of the clubs, because I don't want to create a free-for-all in terms of how the monies are being used on what advertising mediums. I am trying to contain it a little bit, with very much the goal of building up our Facebook presence, primarily on our clubs. But if you have used the money to build your Facebook presence up on an event, I mean, I see that's okay too, because it's all about getting the word about what your club is doing.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hey, Dan, I got a couple questions for you. It's Rod.
Sure.
I was just wondering, how are you inserting the title slide? Are you doing that in Facebook, or are you doing that somewhere else?
I did that in Windows Media. What's it called? It's called Windows Media
Player or whatever.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Content creator thing.
Yeah, content creator. You can use in the publish tools within Facebook. If you've got a page, you can simply start a video with a picture and marry it with a video. So that functionality is available within Facebook itself if you wanted to use it that way.
Okay,
So
I just wondered what the easiest route was.
Yeah, the media app within Windows is so drop dead simple. It's a matter of just opening up two files, butting them up against each other, and saving it as a new file.
And what else was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you also. So it needs to be 10 videos from your club, 10 member videos. What do you recommend is the best way to gather those videos? And the reason I ask this is because for the smaller clubs, 10 members might be literally 50% of the club.
Mm-hmm.
And with sort of physical distancing going on right now,
yep,
not all members even have the ability to shoot a video. So like I could set up, for example, a Zoom call with them and record it,
Yep.
potentially.
Yes.
You know, things like that. I guess I'm just looking at it like, for a club that has 50 members, 10 videos is like 20%.
Yeah.
For me, it's 50. So I'm not even expecting to even win this challenge. I will execute it. But it's going to be harder for some, I think, than others. And I think it's a great idea.
Very, very small clubs will be challenged to a certain extent. That said, I mean, if you wanted to reach out to somebody who's got a computer and just capture it on screen grab, and then, you know, get the file, you edit it, you post it, that's totally be okay. It may not be as visually interesting as other more creative ideas, but it's certainly doable.
Okay.
If people don't have a cell phone or a tablet for self-recording, I'd suggest that's probably the best way to go about it, for sure.
But you are saying reposts are allowed?
Reposts are of past stuff?
Yeah, because I thought that's what you said.
Well,
to me, that's like, why even bother? I think we should do. And I don't mean to be disruptive, but I think like
I'd love to
the
see,
spirit of it is like, is it fair to all concerned, right? Let's do new content.
Right, but if you've got something that's great, and the idea is to create a campaign during a kind of a specified period of time, which is December to January. If you've got something that's in the can, that's great, and you mount up the intro card that says, "Why do I love Rotary?" and you bolt it to a message that is a little dusty but still relevant and from a current member, you know, I don't see and then push it out to Facebook. I don't see a big problem with that because it's still relevant to the message. It still achieves the objective, which is to remind your club members why they love being in this club. You know, either through inward reflection at the individual level or through sharing of that idea amongst your club members and its followers. So it cuts a corner a little bit, but it still meets a lot of, I'd say, all of the objectives, quite frankly.
Okay.
I'm just being greedy, Rod. We've been doing this for about a month, so I'm trying to get credit for stuff.
I know. I'm just
ahead of the curve. Sorry.
No, I'm just, you know, it's like when I have several members that are over 80, this is going to be you know, like it's going to be a real challenge. It literally means I probably have to get 100% participation from everybody else.
Yeah.
So, you know, we still have a few members that aren't comfortable joining the meeting on Zoom when we literally have a member drive to their house and get them on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
no,
you know,
we're in the same boat, but we have a bigger base.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, if you think about the objectives of the program, maybe it's a great opportunity to pick up the phone, talk to that member and say, hey, can we have a coffee? This is what we're trying to do. We haven't seen you much around lately, Fred. Let's have a coffee and talk about what your life's up to. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just capture 20 seconds about your video because you've been around the club for so long. Your point of view is important to us. We want to capture it. Are you okay with that? So it's that outreach that a lot of us are missing that maybe, you know, clubs may not do otherwise. I mean, and you may already should be doing that. Hopefully you are. So.
Yep. Yeah, no. And that's why I think that's why I asked, because I think if we can find ways to do it in a sustainable way, that's sort of best practice, then we can kind of keep going, you know, forward with it. So that's why I ask, right? I don't want to be, I don't intend to be confrontational. It's just,
no.
We have our challenges, right? So I'm trying to see like, what's the best way to go about it, right?
Yeah.
And if you can repurpose and repackage and dress things up, then that's great too. If that saves you, right? So,
exactly.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. Brian, I think you had yep.
I'm just wondering if some of the videos could be shot in portrait kind of thing, because I find TikTok and Instagram Reel, they're the biggest social media platforms right now.
Yep.
And they're mostly portrait, right?
Yep.
And they're the easiest thing to use, I think. But,
I thought about that, and so here's my point of view. If I'm really trying to get the clubs to do Facebook well first. A lot of clubs just aren't. And so it's a bit of a concerted effort to let's check off Facebook and say, you know, we're firing on all 8 cylinders. Portrait will work on Facebook, except you're going to miss a lot of landscape in terms of what the user gets to see on the Facebook platform. It also, depending on your video editor, editing a video in a portrait orientation, i.e. bolting on the intro slide, is just that more challenging. You may actually have a video editor that does that, but there are many that still don't do that very easily. So that's the thinking there. There we go. Any other questions?
We find that you actually get more interaction with the landscape on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the perfect. I mean, 1x1 is actually really good, but again, a lot of video editors don't handle 1x1 orientation. You know, they're kind of locked into this. Is it 4:5 or 5:4? I can't remember, or 9:16, and that's still kind of the currency of most good video editors. So.
Dan, quick one for you. Can you explain the difference between a page like, and a page follow? Because this program's tracking follows. So can you explain the difference?
Yeah. So if somebody,
so I'm clear.
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody likes your page, they will automatically follow your page. Somebody can choose to follow your page without giving you a like. So let's say a fictitious example. Let's say I own a bike store, and I'm curious to see what my competition down the street is doing in terms of their bike store posts on Facebook. I'll follow them, but I won't like them because I don't want to give them more likes. It allows me to see what's going on without actually kind of liking the content. So anytime somebody likes a post, it'll be recognized as a new follower for your club.
Okay, because I'm just wondering, like, should we be trying to generate likes for our page, or should we just be encouraging follows?
Both. Yeah, encourage. Likes are relatively easy, in my opinion, easier to generate. If you put good content, and it could be these videos that I'm talking about, or it could be other content from your club, and it goes out to the general public or the friend of a friend. If it's really good, interesting stuff, people will automatically go, "Hey, I like that," and boom, you've created a follower. So I don't know if I've answered your question there.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I fully understand. So when you're measuring, like when you're talking likes, are you talking likes on a post or likes of a page?
Likes of the page.
Right?
Followers on the page. Yeah.
Page. Yeah. I got it.
Yep.
So much lingo. So
yeah.
There's a lot of metrics, right?
Yes, it gets kind of confusing. I get confused sometimes when I talk about friends versus followers. They're slightly different. Anything else? Okay. Well, any questions, do please just reach out to me or send me an email or pick up the phone. Happy to answer any questions you got. And yeah, this is just a small program, but hopefully it's directed at the right objectives given where we are with COVID-19, and allow your club to spend I know many clubs, certainly smaller clubs, don't have any money for PR. And so this is just a way to help those clubs out and hopefully help them become more engaged with Facebook, because it's important today, and I'm guessing it's going to be even more important 2 to 3 years from now as it continues to grow. Despite it's not a perfect partner, it's got lots of weaknesses, lots of things about Facebook I do not like, but it's they can still do the dance, if you will, and reach lots of people.
Thanks very much.
Mike.
Thanks for doing this, Dan.
No problem.
Thanks, Dan, for taking the time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.